Hello, good people, and welcome to the Amateur Hour. My name's Justin,
My name's Tyler.
I'm the one called Junior.
and today's sponsors are EBXYA and Adam Stone. So it feels good to be back again. I feel like I'm saying this every episode now, right? Just because of the, it's just been a while every time we record, and
Yeah, but now it feels better because the intro makes sense.
yes, we have Junior here, back and just ready to get at it again. And speaking of being back, I mean, he came back around, I don't know, perfect timing. It's February. Like, the months have been going by super fast. All of January, not one episode. Fantastic. But now we're into February. So let's talk about Valentine's Day. The day that I feel is just so insane. Like, something about Valentine's Day just always, rubbed me the wrong way. Like, just going out for Valentine's Day, having to worry about scheduling a day to just a perfect date. Like, there's so much pressure to get a nice restaurant, to, I don't know, get the best gift that's not a teddy bear. Always the heart-shaped chocolates, and you got the flowers and all that jazz. I mean, there's parts of it that I like. I mean, the chocolate, for example, and I don't mind the flowers, but just it's just a day of pressure. I feel like, and I, for one, could say I've never genuinely celebrated on a Valentine's Day. So I will say this, though. Getting into Valentine's Day, and there's a pandemic, what are your guys' plans?
Same as always, because we usually don't do much. One year we went to one of those AMC theaters. It was actually in Chicago, where you sit down and you have dinner and everything during the movie. But that was only once. Usually it's on my way home from work, buying stupid amounts of candy, shoving them in a dollar bag, and maybe getting a cheesy card just to give Sarah something when I get home from work. But that's about it. I mean, that's mostly what we do.
I think for the most part, traditionally, it's out to dinner, little gift, some flowers. This year, I can't say. Someone's just in the other room. These walls are thin, man. These walls are
As
thin.
you hear a what from the background, that's what you think of me.
Well, has the let's say the virus impacted your guys' Valentine's Day plans?
Well, yeah, I'd say so.
Y-
But we'll see. Gotta do some thinking.
I mean, if you're the type of couple that likes to go out a lot, I'm sure it does. But if you're the type that just keeps things simple, maybe does something once in a great while as far as going out and stuff, then you're probably not going to see much change.
Interesting. I mean, honestly, it's I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, what are people going to do for Valentine's Day? Like, what are the plans? What is, just what's happening?
I feel like people that are still dating, they'll probably still go out and do whatever they want.
I guess so, right? Like, they're not past that comfortability stage, right? So they force themselves to go out or something like that. I mean, have you guys always felt the pressure that I talked about, for Valentine's Day? Has there always been something like, oh my gosh, here we go, I, for one, for example, I never celebrated on Valentine's Day because mostly I hate how crowded it is. I went out once on a Valentine's Day just to get a fast food. And even the fast food place, you had people, okay, this is funny. You had people dressed up, chilling, right, at a Chick-fil-A. And I'll never forget.
Hold on, I can do you one better. Have you ever heard of people making a reservation for White Castle?
No, but kind of makes me cringe, not gonna lie.
White Castle will decorate the inside of their restaurant, and you can reserve a table, and they actually come to you like a legit restaurant, take your order, and then bring your food out to you. They make it like they go from cheesy White Castle where you really don't want to be in the building to like this 5-star service for one night.
And then you're on the pot for the rest of the evening.
Yeah. If you
You-
think
you
you're
gotta
gonna be
get, like,
doing anything later.
Couples, get like some couples toilets so you can spend the rest of the evening together while sitting on the pot.
You know, like how they sell those like weird like toilet seat cover things that are like on a bucket, like
Yeah.
get like one of those just to sit on for the rest of the evening and just be like, Madame, as she sits down and destroys your life by you hearing that and scars you for the rest of your life. But I mean, White Castle. I would think
I
that
don't
like
know.
if I was young, right? Like if I meaning like around the teens or something. Like I was 15, maybe. Like, hey, let's go to a restaurant with my Valentine, and just be like, let's go to White Castle. To be like completely transparent here, though, I really don't like White Castle. Anyway,
What's wrong with you?
I hate everything about it.
I don't like White Castle either.
I love it.
I'll be honest. I love White Castle, but I do not eat it often because of what it does to you.
See,
But the
I don't.
taste and the little burgers, oh, it's so good.
It
Definitely is, but I don't think I get the shits from it too much.
You know, I don't. Everyone says like they get like
Every time.
crazy shits and it's terrible and blah blah blah. I mean, I might poop a little faster after eating it than a normal day, but I don't get like diarrhea nastiness.
he's got that fiber going through it.
Yeah, dude, he must be eating those Fiber One bars after eating his White Castle.
Like,
I just get a poop that follows up a little sooner than normal if I have White Castle. I mean, that's it.
and
Yeah, I'm not
shaped like a
spraying or
slider.
anything. It's nice and solid. It's not.
Instant toilet
And you know
shower.
what, Junior? That surprised me because you're one who
Right,
has
he's
a
the one that always-
he's got a very sensitive stomach. Like
Hold on. I used to definitely. It's gotten better. I don't know why, but
it has. Ah.
yeah.
Well,
It's
that
gotten
must be
better,
a
but I did have a sensitive stomach, and I don't think White Castle was one of those things to upset it too much.
Is it? Have you been eating out like fast food a lot more, or no?
Recently, no.
Okay, well that's good. Well, hey, I don't know what the heck that happened.
But well, I think one of those triggers used to be like Wendy's, and even when I eat Wendy's now, it's not too bad.
Wow, freaking bravo,
No,
Junior.
man.
That's weird because we used to go hang out with Junior, you know, when hanging out was a thing. And we'd go eat something, and Junior's like, "Oh, I feel a poop coming on, guys."
Yeah. We'd go out, get a gyro, or go out and have like, Wendy's, and
Gyro?
he'd be having to use the bathroom. Yes, it's not pronounced gyro. That's an incorrect pronunciation. It's gyro.
It's not gyro either.
It's gyro.
Oh, I guess maybe in that language.
Yeah.
Gyro.
So that's why I say gyro.
I say gyro because it pisses my dad off.
Oh. He like just dies inside every time. But anywho. Yeah, Junior used to have
Guess
that.
my cat's getting a little crazy now, but yeah, go ahead. If you hear something, that's my cat.
Well, aside from, Valentine's Day coming up, I mean, Junior makes just, a perfect point, right? Cats. You either love them or you kind of hate them. And I hate them. I'm not going to lie. They're on my very last animal list. Something about cats is kind of ridiculous to me. Like something. They're the most evil animal you can possibly imagine. I don't know. What do you guys feel like? Like you and Tyler both have cats. Like, why
I've
aren't
always
you
had
dead?
a cat growing up, so I mean, they're just normal to me. I will, because I've had both cats and dogs. There is moments where your cat is like, I'm going to be a douchebag for a minute. You're going to deal with it. Like, that's a thing. That's how a cat is. But I mean, honestly, dogs, they kind of do the same thing. Because I've had labs, and my most current dog is a shepherd. And if you're not paying attention to them, they will flip their bitch switch and treat you like a cat. Like, it'll be like, listen here, this is what's up. This is how we're going to handle this right now, because those kind of dogs are just like, nope, I'm important right now.
But there's something evil about a cat, you know? Like how they just sit there and they stare at you, just
Well, see,
waiting for you to
that's
sleep.
the difference. Like, your dog, I mean, all you gotta do is like say something or touch their forehead and they're happy again. Your cat, when it's pissed, it's pissed. That's
Yeah,
it.
and
Like,
then
if you touch it while it's pissed, and then it'll smack you or do something else.
And then there's certain ways you got to treat a cat, right? Like you can't pet a cat, apparently, like a dog, right? Where you just like ruffle its hair and like scratch them wherever. Like cats, you literally have to like pet them in a certain way that they like. You gotta, I don't just they're just so complicated, like in regards to how to love an animal as well. Like I think a dog, like, it's simple, right? You give them treats. Sometimes you don't even have to give them treats. You just show up and they're like, you know what? You're a nice guy. And they just start like waggling their tail, just wanting to sit near you, lick you, like just. But a cat just will stare at you. Cat will like run away from you. Like you can't just pick a cat up and be like, let me pet you, man. Like no, cats don't do it.
Yeah, see, my cats and my current cat now, I don't experience that. Now, my grandma, she loves all kind of animals, and she's had some cats at her house that were just like, you would be petting them, just scratching their forehead, and they'd be purring, and then all of a sudden they'd bite you, and then you want to smack it. But my cat, you can pick her up, you can blow in her face, you can play with her paws, you can rough her up a little bit, and she literally just plays with you. That's it. It's just like a dog. It's weird.
Oh no, don't be that person. I
I'm
hate
not-
people that say their cats are like dogs. That's
Dude,
not a thing.
you'll throw a toy and she'll bring
Not
it
a
back to you like
thing.
you're playing fetch.
It's not a thing. Everybody, I've met so many people. They're like, because I hate cats. I hate cats. One, because I'm allergic to cats, but two, I hate them. Their personalities are awful. And every time I'm like, I don't like cats, they're like, oh, it's just like my cat acts just like a dog. You get over there,
Well,
the first thing it does
you
is
haven't met the right cat then, because
I have
most
owned
cats are gonna
millions
be a
of cats.
complete
No,
douche.
oh, every cat is the same. They maybe to one person they might be super cool and nice. If you're not that one single person, everybody else they're just a huge dick to the whole time. Like my little sister, she has a cat. Cat is like the whiniest little bitch ever. Ever. Whiniest cat. You move anywhere near it. And you'll just like it'll be up in her room and she has like this little wardrobe and up on top of it she likes to build those Minecraft Lego sets. It'll just sit up there, stare at her as it like knocks them all down one at a time. Like no dog would do that. No dog would ever do that. First off, it wouldn't get up there, but if it was up there, it wouldn't stare at you and slowly paw the things off. Like, oh, I hate cats. Oh,
Junior, you got a cat. Come on, like weigh in.
Hold
I
on.
want your.
If that's the case, I don't think this guy's ever met a shepherd.
I mean,
shepherd.
possibly.
If you've met a shepherd and you make them upset, they will treat you like garbage. Shepherds
you also
have
have to-
extreme personalities.
But to also be a part of Austin's point, though, he's not saying like he even did anything to get him upset, right? Like so.
Yeah, no,
They just do
just
that.
like walk. Yeah, you like step like this cat will lay in like our. It likes to for some reason lay in front of the refrigerator in our kitchen. I don't even have to touch the refrigerator, anything. I just walk by the cat. The cat goes, "Wah," and then tries to freaking bat at you. It's like, what? I'm just walking. Just
Yeah.
walking.
No, see, that's when you have to have the right cat, because my little cousin, she has a cat, and she always has a new scratch on her every time I go to her house because the cat's an asshole. And
That's
my cat, like I said, you could pick the thing up by its tail and it's going to scream at you because it hurts, but it will not do anything negative to you ever. Like even when she's hissing and meowing at you, and then she starts to bite you, like you could tell she's still playing because it's only nibbles. That's it. It's like she's never bites.
See,
we haven't even talked about the worst part of a cat either. Is you have to have a litter box. Oh, awful, awful.
I mean,
though, because you
It's
just
not that bad.
we heard earlier that Justin had to take his dog out in the snow to go poop and it didn't want to.
yeah, like she,
My litter box is in the bathroom. If I walk in the bathroom and I see a turd, I just drop it in the toilet and flush it. I mean,
You pick it up with your
I
hand.
well, no, there's a scooper next to it. No, he picks it up with his teeth.
oh
There's a
gosh,
scooper next to it.
it's like he puts his foot in there and just like grabs it with his toe real quick and.
Oh, dude. If anyone were gonna do that, it would be Sarah. She walks around and, like, say Chloe has like socks or something on the floor or a toy and she wants to pick it up. She doesn't bend over. She grabs it with her toe and hands it over to her hand. It's weird.
I do that all the time.
Doesn't even want to go through the extra motion and like just pick it up. Just like here you go.
It's easier for her that way, I guess. I never asked. I just know she does that.
It's a skill. It's a skill set. Sure, it's
But
something you acquire over many years of practice.
I would say that the litter box isn't maybe like too bad, right? Like I think especially if you
It's
keep it in an
tedious.
area where I think like let's say I'm a guest, I come over and I have to see it, I'm probably gonna get grossed out, not gonna lie. I hate
Well,
the smell of like how some people's houses you go to their house and like you just smell the dog food. Like I can't stand it. Like my brain goes crazy when it smells like animal, and I'm just like, I hate this. So like smelling like cat litter. Like let's say if I go into your house, I'm like,
big
hey,
old
how's it
one.
going? And I see that little sandbox right, like in the corner, like, and I could smell it too. Like there's just no, thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
I
see,
can't.
and that depends on how you take care of it too. Like I said, how if I go in to use the bathroom and I see a turd, I scoop it. So the box typically stays pretty clean. So we usually don't have that problem. After a little while, if you go in the bathroom and like I'll smell a hint of pee, then it's like, well, we got to get new litter now because you can't scoop the pee out because it settles into the bottom. But if you keep up on it, the smells and everything, they don't really. I mean, you can keep them under control easily. Plus, there's always an air freshener in the bathroom. We've always had one even before the cat. So
I mean, I think that's fair. If you keep up with it, it's not bad. But the problem is like, so for example, I haven't owned a cat in like years. Other people in my household own cats, and you have to rely on them to take care of it, and they don't. You learn to hate. You learn to hate the litter box. You absolutely learn to hate the litter box. Awful.
Now, Junior, you got a cat too. Like, I want to hear some take on this. Like, what are the things you like, dislike? I mean, come on.
I dislike that I can't play any cat videos because then if they get a little aggressive in the video, my cat freaks out and then we're all hiding to make sure we don't get attacked by her. The other day, there was a video. I'm sure you've seen it. It's an old one. And it's like a cat, and they put a microphone up to it. And it's like, and
Yeah.
it's got the echo of the mic. But in the video, the cat is obviously like distressed because they got it like pinned in the corner and they're shoving this mic up into its face. So my cat heard that. And was like, well, the first time we played it was at night, and my cat's running around the house like, "What the fuck was that? Where's this fucking cat at?" You can see that like her tail was puffed. She's on high alert. And then the next day, I played it again. A big mistake. She like freaked out, ran right up to me. I was on the couch, and My fiance was
Bitch
on
in
the
your
couch
hand, get that
too.
bitch out of here.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, that was like that's like the main thing you can't do. Just as long as there's not like any other animals or cats approaching the house, it's all good.
See, my cat doesn't do that, and once in a while we'll have like Animal Planet or something on because Chloe likes it, and the cat watches the TV, like all the animal noises and other cats. Like it just watches the TV.
Well, recently I think we've been letting her. We've been opening up more windows. I say maybe the past year or two, and so I
Mhm.
think it's become protective of the area just because that's all it could do is just look outside the window.
Could be. I can't open my windows because all you'll smell is cigarettes.
Well, at least the
Got
blind.
yourself a guard cat.
Yeah, we pretty much got a guard cat. There was one time I snuck in the house, like I went around back and I came in and she was running right up to me and then she was like, "Oh, it's you." So I'm really curious, like if she'd
See,
met someone up that wasn't supposed to be there.
here's the sense where I say my cat is kind of like a dog. When I go to my parents' house, my shepherd's there because I can't have my shepherd in an apartment. But when I go to my parents' house, she runs to the door. She's wagging her tail. She's panting. All the dog stuff. I come home from work. I walk in my door. My cat is sitting on the floor mat. Her tail's fluttering. And when I go to pet her, she literally starts panting at me. She doesn't rub up on my legs like a cat. She doesn't get all like that. She'll meow a couple times, but her tail is wagging and she's panting. And then she follows me like a lost puppy. Like, pet me, pet me, pet me, pet me, play with me, play with me, play me, pet me, pet me, pet me. Like any other cat, you walk in the door and they're like, "Fuck you, get away from me," and they run or they swat at you or they run and hide. No, this one's like, "No, I'm your best friend right now because I said so." And
I
then, you know, I have to go straight to the bathroom, strip my clothes off, take a shower, take a dump, whatever I got to do. That cat has to be there. Like it will jump in the shower and get all soaking wet and not give a shit. What cat does that?
I have
Come on now.
no clue. But watch me go over there and like the cat just jumps on my face, right? And just tries to maul me.
I mean, it might jump up on you and start licking your face. My cat she has to groom everyone.
It-
So, like, if you've been wearing a hat all day and your hair is a little bit greasy, you're gonna have to like push her away several times because she will have the need to groom you. I
That
guess
was
that's a
another
cat
thing
thing. I don't
about
know.
cats. Their tongues are so rough, right? Because it's like meant to like get the
Sandpaper.
hair off, but like my gosh, bro, it feels like sandpaper. They're just like, "Ugh!" Like I've been licked by a cat once in my whole life. And I was like, what is this? And it was just like just ripping my skin off.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about. You just got home from work. You're tired. You're sitting on the toilet trying to take a dump. You're scrolling through something on your phone. And then out of nowhere, this cat like quietly jumps on the counter. You don't even notice it. And she starts licking your face. Like,
Oh
get
my
away from me.
gosh.
I am taking a dump.
You're like personal time. Leave me alone.
Right. But if
Yeah.
you don't let her in the bathroom, it's meow, 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 meow,
Oh
meow
my
until you
gosh.
open that door. That
It
is
sounded
it.
like a mixture of like a cat meowing and a cow mooing.
Oh, she gets super upset, and you can totally tell in the meow. It sounds like she's dying.
Well, you know what? I can't wait for the moment until I meet a cat that I actually like. I've yet to have that happen. Every time I meet a cat, right? Like I've seen Junior's cat. Like I was like, all right, hey, dude, like and then that's it. Like you don't really see them. You can't really spend time with them. Like it's rough. It's rough. Like I said, everyone. I agree with Austin, right? Like someone always says, "Oh, my cat's amazing, dude," and then you go and meet the cat, and the cat's like the most mundane, like just boring, evil, like thing alive, and you're just like, "All right, well then."
I know what he's talking about because my grandma, like, she'll be like, "Oh yeah, the cats are nice. You can go pet it," and then it bites you. So that I
Mhm.
totally get. But
Or they
I've never
hide the
personally
whole
owned
time.
a cat that does that, and everyone that's ever come over, they're just like, "Oh, your cat's pretty," and they start petting it, and it's just purrs, and they're just like, "Oh, this is cool," and she never gets aggressive.
I think
So
if you're like super duper attentive to a cat, then maybe you could potentially turn it into something close to a dog. But the problem is like with a dog, for example, you give it a little bit of attention and it's happy for days. A cat, you give it some attention, then you forget to give it attention for 20 minutes, and you fall asleep and take a nap, and you're not giving it attention. Wake you up by clawing your face or something, or it'll 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 rip up the side of your couch by clawing at it, use it as a scratching post, stuff like that.
no,
No.
see, mine just when you're asleep and it's morning time, and she jumps up on her thing and realizes that there's no food or water in her bowl. It doesn't matter if it's 5 a.m. The cat will be standing on your chest, meowing in your face until you get up and either clean her litter box or fill her food. If there's like maybe one or two shits in the litter box, she doesn't like to make another shit. She comes to you, meow meow meow, clean my box, clean my box. Or if there's no food in the bowl, same thing. She needs to get in your face and let you know, and you have to take care of it now, or she will not stop.
She's like, hey, hey, hey.
She is very persistent.
Well, your cat sounds nice, Tyler, but we'll see when I meet it. And but with that said, we're at 28 minutes. I think it's time for a break, right? We're gonna break on time this time, everyone. So I hope you guys will be back. But if in the meantime, enjoy this word from our sponsor, Adam Stone, a unique and talented artist hitting the alternative rock scene. Listen to him as he jams his way into becoming a new hit artist.
But now you will, 'cause I am bringing you down. I'll take you off your chair, setting fire what's left from your hair. Someday.
Listen to Adam Stone singles for free on Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
Surrounding me. I don't know why I was chosen to live like this every day, every day, every day. I don't know why pain.
You can follow your favorite ghost, Adam Stone, on Instagram and Facebook. Link in the description. And we're back from that word. Oh my gosh. That sponsor word. The words from our sponsor. What
do they
I'm
do?
talking about.
Are they helping us make money?
They are sponsoring us by some incline deals. But if I were you guys, I tell you what. Listen to yourself to some Adam Stone. He's got some, which I did talk to him, right? He's in the works of some things I can't really talk about much, but keep your ears out, keep your eyes open as well, and be sure to check his social media. Link's going to be in the description. And EBXYA, whichever one I play first, they are absolutely fantastic. And get yourself some XLR cables. They actually sent us some recent XLR cables, and I gotta do my review for you guys. I gotta use them in the next podcast episode and give you guys my review. If the quality came out clear, or it didn't, I'm sure you guys are gonna tell me, because I'm gonna use it in the next episode. The wonderful braided cables, not by EBXYA, but by their sister brand. I believe it's MKBIZ, I believe. I got to get the full name for you guys. But they sent us some cables, which is absolutely wonderful. These beautiful braided XLR cables. So again, you wanna follow them too. Link in the description. Give them a check on Amazon, and pretty soon we're gonna have to link their sister brand. So it's going to be phenomenal. They're trying to branch out a little bit, support them in these tough times of COVID. And they've been supporting us just in case we need any XLR cables. Adam Stone's been helping us with the music side of things. And again, you know what? Let's even do a shout out to our buddy BMMB, which is our artist that we work with that did all the visuals for the Amateur Hour for this season. So give him a check out too. Link in the description. And please follow us on our social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram. And listen to us on whatever platform you prefer. On the go, can't listen on YouTube? Well, we're on SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes. Junior, there's been recent news, right? Some
Well,
new
yeah,
stuff
and
going on.
I was trying to smooth it into there by going, oh, is the sponsors giving us money? But it didn't work out as well. But yeah, this whole GameStop stock thing. Yeah, it's been pretty interesting watching it go down. Long story short, no pun intended there, but there are shorts that borrow shares, and then they bet on those getting cheaper. It's like a whole weird thing to explain. I can't explain it well, but basically, people make money off of stocks going down because they're betting on it, and then whoever they borrow that share from gets ripped off in a way. But that middle person makes money. And GameStop was one of those that was getting shorted the most. And like most things, it started on Reddit, and they were like, you know what? Let's screw these short sellers over. And they banded together, just kept buying stock. And basically, if these stocks don't go to that price that those short sellers were betting on, they have to buy back the stock at a higher price, making them lose money on it. So Reddit banded it together and just kept making the price of the stock go higher and higher because everybody was just going all in. I think a term being used on Reddit is diamond hands. So you're just holding on to your stock that whole time, putting more in, whatever. And then it caught on to social media, and just from there, you know how that stuff goes once social media gets a hold of it. And it's just been blowing up. Everybody's just been going all in. Yeah, I'm kind of mad at myself because a few weeks ago I was like, you know what? I should really look into investing, get this all figured out. And then I put it off, and then next thing you know, this whole GameStop thing happens. I'm like, man.
I heard a bunch of stuff about it on the radio, about all like the betting and everything. But there was also another detail that I heard about that it basically the rich people that have enough money to just play with these things and it doesn't really affect them, and they have the money to just buy or share or whatever they're doing. And if they lose, but they usually end up winning because they can afford to buy enough of it to actually destroy all the small people. But I've also been hearing that now the government is trying to step in to make actions like that illegal and not allow people to do that. But that also affects GameStop in another way because they're going to stop people from buying GameStop shares the way they are. And now GameStop is going to lose even more, according to what they were saying. So I don't know. I don't know all the details on exactly how all that stuff works, but it's like apparently someone just wants GameStop to fail because that's what it sounds like.
Well, there's a whole story, to be honest. I heard it. I'm not the best at explaining it, but you guys know that fancy word hedge fund?
Yeah.
It's just one of those words so you don't really know what it means. But yeah, basically those people that own those hedge funds are like getting screwed over, losing billions. And it is like, fuck them people, rich bastards.
Dude, I get that, but I think people take it too far. Like I've seen a lot of people like on social media, they're like, I saw person they were talking about how upset they were about this stuff because their husband lost their job or they lost their job, and all these people are like, good, you deserve it, you were rich, blah blah blah. And it's like, I get like hating people that make more money than you, but like, I mean, actually I don't get that. But I still
I
like.
guess
I'm
it
just,
depends on what reason they're making more money than you.
I think it's messed up in general to hope somebody loses their job like that. Like it's
Well,
messed up. Like I
that-
get like wanting to mess with the market and stuff, and like teach them not to like basically shit on the poor, but like also I don't want anybody to lose their job. Like that would never be my goal, and I wouldn't be happy about it.
Some of these people that they're talking about where they were like losing jobs and stuff like that, these were the rich people that were buying up all the shares just to collectively take it out from under other people that can't afford to make the same decisions they are. So it was more like, haha, you're screwed because you can't afford to pay these debts, but I bought it all out from under you and did nothing but profit on you, and now you've lost twice as much money as you spent. I think that's what people are getting upset about, because once you do that to one of those, people that aren't as rich, now you literally put them in a way stronger struggle and they can't recover from that. So that's probably where a lot of the hate's coming from.
And like I was saying with those short sellers, they are ripping people off to
Oh, yeah.
begin with. So them getting screwed over is just kind of like a karma thing.
And the people they're ripping off are the people that can't afford to recover and make those decisions to buy. Let's say there's 100 shares left. This rich guy goes in, all right, I'm going to bet on this and I'm going to buy the rest of the shares. And now after I win my bet, I'm just going to sell my shares. And he gets double the payout, where the people on the other side, they lost everything and they can't afford to recover from it.
And you're never going to get me to hope that somebody loses their job or be happy somebody lost their job. Like I don't.
Right. Like,
I get being happy, being like, haha, like you tried to screw these people over and now your company's like because of it. But never once would I want something like this to happen and then people lose their job. Like, especially in this time right now, like the meme is the rich or whatever, but like,
well, I wouldn't say that.
People are already struggling.
I mean, in that regard, I mean, I wouldn't say that to people who are wealthy, right? Like, if you're wealthy, normally you did something to acquire that wealth. Like, it's not something that's just fed to them all the time, right? By a silver spoon. And I think that's even a good topic to touch on, is that
very, very few times people are fed wealth on a silver spoon. Okay, if your dad was very, very rich and he passed away and all, the stuff gets passed down in the will, that kind of thing happens, but it is not often. So the people out there that do have wealth, I would say more than a big chunk of them probably actually worked for it.
Yeah, it's like 16% of, I think it's like 16% of millionaires, or the top 1%, are inherited their wealth. The other 84% made it on, like, made the money themselves. And like, that's the thing. Like, the thing that makes me mad is like the people that are hoping these people lose their jobs and stuff because they're wealthy. My thing on it is if you're that upset by your position that you're in right now, that you want to cause other people to lose their jobs, like, instead of hurting other people's livelihood, why don't you just like find something else to do that would make the money that you want? If you're that unhappy, find something that will make you happy.
Yeah,
don't take it out on other people.
I agree with that sentiment. Like, right, like to an extent, I would say, right. Like, I think in this moment, right, I feel it's a justified thing to do. So essentially, it's almost a win-win in the way that now GameStop stock is going up, so they get to stay afloat even a little bit longer, and they also get essentially a payback. I don't necessarily always believe in the idea of an eye for an eye. I think you start doing that, everybody's going to be blind, right? Like, there's
that's one of the other things, because I don't, maybe, hopefully I understood it wrong on the radio, but I'm not 100% sure. But I was hearing that the government is going to step in and put an end to this type of trading. So if the government puts an end to it, well, now everyone that's buying GameStop and everyone that's investing, trading, doing whatever, making GameStop stock go up, well, now the stock's going to plummet if these actions aren't allowed anymore. So when all of a sudden the government drops the bomb here and says, "Oh, nope, can't do it anymore," are people still going to invest in GameStop, or are people going to be like, "Well, we can't play this, game anymore where we're trading stocks for money and blah blah blah. So we're just going to pull our fingers out and oh well for GameStop," because as soon as the investing stops, GameStop will suffer.
Yeah, and I mean it could happen, right? And I think it's inevitable for GameStop to fall down. Like if you're asking my honest opinion, I think GameStop will die. Like
Well,
it's
I'm
gonna be
surprised they
like the
haven't right
Blockbuster. Yeah, and they've gotten
now.
a lot farther than I think they should have
It's
because
actually going to be a while before that happens because the owner of Chew or whoever started up Chewy is part of GameStop now, so they're going to try to do something as far as online selling. And then I think GameStop did a partnership with Microsoft, so they
Yeah.
got some.
Yeah. Got some deals coming in.
yeah, but I still believe eventually. I have this just innate feeling that it's gonna happen, right? It's like I remember when Sears was trying to hold on for some time, like let's say in their regular locations, like they just were slowly just bleeding out after just trying to do so many different things. And so that's where I feel like that. But again, back to the topic of the rich thing is that there are repercussions for things that you do, right? Like you kill someone, right? You go to jail. Like there's gonna be like even what Junior was saying, like essentially a karma is it's gonna come right back at you. And I think
Well,
that because to think that like all rich people are like super nice, right? Like I think that's also a false thought. Just because they worked hard for where they're at, that doesn't mean that they didn't step over people, right? Like that doesn't mean essentially that they're doing everything in the correct manner as they should. In certain regards, and not to say that people are even perfect, right? Like it's gonna happen, I think, sometime, right? But I again, in this regard, for this particular moment, I do feel it was a justified way and a progressive way actually to sort of come back in regards to okay, we're going to show them by buying the stock and keeping GameStop afloat. Like I think that was good of the people. Now again, people wishing other people to lose jobs, I don't think that you want that. It's the same thing like with canceling actors, right? Like I do believe that there's certain things that is obviously super wrong, and sometimes actors do things that are wrong. But to completely cancel someone, I think that's like horrible, right? Because you're essentially deleting them from the internet. You're deleting them from life and deleting them ever from having a second chance. And I believe
Yeah.
people can come back. I do believe in second chances, but I keep it in perspective because I also do know that more oftentimes than not, people don't change. But they can. I would be lying to you to say that a person couldn't look at themselves in the mirror and say, "I have to do better." I feel like at some point in our lives, us like being younger, right? We've done like you did something stupid, right? Like let's say I don't know if you bullied someone or something. I would if you were bullied someone when you were a kid and you were like held accountable for your whole life, like that'd be rough, right? But when we get older, we look at ourselves in the mirror and we say, "Hey, that wasn't cool," or something like that, right? I guess that's the sort of best example I can give.
Yeah. I like I was I feel basically kind of in the same light you do. Like I think what the people are doing themselves is like fine. Like I think I think it is kind of like a generation taking a stand. I mean, like what, we're tired of feeling like we're being stepped on constantly or being used for other people to create their wealth. I'm just not okay with people like targeting specific people when they hear that they're losing their jobs and like rubbing it in their faces. Whenever like the NBA after the NBA finals, the winning team just sits there and blows raspberries at the losing team on national television. Like, what that's like, in anything, you should be a gracious winner. And like in this case, all these Reddit people that have done this should be gracious winners. They shouldn't be like attacking specific people. Like, if you want to broadly say, like, we're taking a stand against all of these people on Wall Street that have been using us for years and years and years and profiting off of our losses, like, that's fine. But like, specifically on, like, this guy says something about how he lost his job, ha ha ha, you lost your job, like, I don't think that's okay. Because at the end of the day, targeting the guy that lost his job, but the guy that lost his job isn't the problem that you're trying to get rid of. It's the owner of this hedge fund firm or whatever that's the problem, because they're teaching all of these people. It's trickling down from him to all of these people down below, further below him, to do these things to rip these people off. It's not, nobody goes in and is like, oh, I want to profit by ripping people off. Like, I don't think very many people go out and do that. It's just, as you get into like your work environment and stuff, that's something that you're told you got to do. Otherwise, you're going to lose your job and lose your livelihood. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people do think, I got to make sure I have food on the table, so they do what they can to keep their job. But yeah. I just can't do the specifically targeting people and telling them how I
believe, like, yeah, you have to be a bigger person, I think, essentially, right? Like, and that's the thing about being good, right? Like, let's say being a good individual sometimes is like you have to stare bad at in the face, and you have to be a bigger person, right? It would feel so good, I would say, like, let's say someone has been treating me bad or whatever. And for me, like, it's like being bullied, right? Me being bullied, and then I fight back, and then I just keep on going and going and going and going. Like, I think there's a point where you need to stop, and you do have to be the bigger person, essentially, right? And you have to move on or ignore what people are saying or what people are doing. So I can agree to that sort of sentiment. Like, I think as being a person that wants to be higher than the other person or do the right thing, I think essentially doing the right thing is to hold your head up and not to continuously, I think, constantly make fun of, or just like you say, keep pushing and saying, oh, I'm so glad or whatever. No, like, okay, you're obviously, even if you felt it, right, I say you still be the bigger person and just move on. You did it correctly, good. And I would say to continue the effort in making sure other companies that this isn't happening to them. I think that's good justice. Now, it makes it not justice when you start attacking the other people. Like, it's wrong.
You're doing exactly what you were upset with them for doing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like getting mad at somebody for punching you in the face and then punching them back in the face. Like, it makes sense. There's a certain, again, when we go for an eye for an eye, you're eventually going to be blind. Like, that's what's going to happen. And in order for certain things to end, you can't always be going for an eye for an eye, because it's going to continue over and over and over. It's like back then with like mafia families, right? Where it's like, oh, he accidentally he killed my cousin, so I go after the Dominos, like, and like you're just like, and it's an endless fight forever. And then you get like a Romeo Juliet scenario, and then finally they put okay, anyway. But like, you know what I mean? But there has been other news, gaming wise, right? And in the vein of gaming, and Austin, you got a little bit more light on this topic as well, with Xbox, because we're even briefly talking about Microsoft. So, what recently happened there? Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of our listeners have probably heard a little bit about it, but recently Microsoft tried to announced that they were going to raise the amount of Xbox Live Gold, because I guess because they felt like it was too cheap. I don't really know, but they recently, last July, they completely got rid of 12-month subscriptions, I guess. And they were wanting to raise it to like 6 months would be $60, which is the original price of 12 months of Xbox Live. But because of how awesome people are on the internet, specifically Twitter, and how much backlash they got, they ended up deciding we're not going to do that. And then they also went as far as to say we're also going to make certain games that are free on our servers, whatever, on Xbox. We're also going to make those free games free to play online, so you don't even need gold to play them anymore.
Good.
So it's like we're slowly moving towards PC style, where maybe one day we won't have to pay for it.
I mean, that would be such a fantastic world, right? Like, I think Xbox, if they did that, they would just bring so many customers, right? Like new people, because it's like essentially they're gonna be like, okay, well, I think I'm gonna pay $500 for like this system because I'm gonna get free online, and let me buy this also streaming subscription service, the Game Pass, to get how would you say, like free games, right? Like all these different new cool free games. Like that's just gonna be that would be a phenomenal position.
What does that do for console pricing, though? If there's more and more free, would that drive the cost of a console up?
Well, I think that would be fine, even if they did.
I don't think it would drive up the price of the console. I think what would end up happening is the service on the Live would suffer. Like back in the day when Xbox, you had to pay the $60 for 12 months, and PlayStation Network was free. And so, like, PlayStation Network would always go down. Like, there was one summer when I was a kid where it was down the whole summer, whereas Xbox didn't have to worry about that stuff. They probably just wouldn't put as much time into making sure that it was as secure.
Yeah, or, if they're going to still try to make money, are we going to see, like, hey, during your game load, are we going to bust out an ad?
I would, right now, I feel like that if they did that, I would kind of want to end my life right there, because I hate ads. I hate ads.
Well, YouTube, how many more? Think about YouTube 3 years ago. You could watch 3, 4, 5 videos and maybe see one ad.
Now it's like 3.
You watch one video and you see 3, 4, 5 ads.
Yeah, it's bad. Oh my
gosh.
That's
gonna be nice for us in the future.
That because that brings in money.
That's true. I love that.
Yeah,
more ads. I think. Oh gosh, that would be awful. Like, it's like playing a mobile game whenever you like finish a puzzle or something and you go to start the next one and then you have to wait for that 1 minute ad.
I don't play mobile games at all because of that. I will not play a mobile game on my phone because as soon as I see that first app, the game just got killed in my head. I don't want to wait for it.
What they should do if they ever go to something like that is it'd be super easy. You simply have like whenever you're playing like a browser game, like you go full screen or something, you have like a little bar at the top that has an ad on it. Like, they could just do that while you're playing like Warzone or something. There's like a little bar at the top. It moves it readjusts the screen stuff. So, like, you're still seeing everything that's going on. The ad's not blocking anything, but you've got like this little strip ad at the top that's just like scrolling through different stuff. Like, on your games at GameStop or Coca-Cola, like that. Like, if they did something like that, that wouldn't be that bad. But if they like you died in Warzone, you went to play again, you click the play again button, and you have to sit through a minute ad after you just got destroyed by some sweaty kids. Oh God, that would.
There would be controllers being thrown at screens. That would be it.
Yeah, I could see so many things getting broken.
Would be pissed off, and then all of a sudden an ad, and let's say it's an ad that's in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. So why are you going to show me an ad in Spanish? That I would lose my shit.
Dude, I get a Verizon ad on YouTube that's in Spanish, and I'm like, it's the only ad that's in Spanish. And I'm like, why is this in Spanish?
I get Spanish ads all the time on Pandora, and most of them are for like T-Mobile and stuff. And I'm like, I don't listen to a single Spanish song.
Hola, ¿cómo está? Something.
Very interesting. That's literally how it starts, Justin. That's how it starts.
Siente 8-9.
Sounds like you basically. I don't know much Spanish, so that sounded basically like.
I was just saying a bunch of numbers.
I know. I knew the numbers. But, like, it's just this weird, just randomly an ad will start. Like, I'll be watching something on my Xbox, and like I'll be working, and then I'll just all of a sudden there's just like Spanish blaring. I'm like, wait, what? Look over, and it's Verizon ad, and we're looking at a beautiful bridge and all this other stuff, and I'm like, and it's in Spanish, and I'm like, I don't even know what this guy's saying, but I guess I should try this.
But like thinking about like Xbox, having the free internet. I mean, you didn't see ads during PS3 or anything, and I think essentially, I don't think they would pay attention less, right? Because I feel like then, especially now, the social media is so strong that they would attack them even then. Like, hey, what the freak? Like, they got crap service, whatever. It's like internet, right? Technically is free for PC. You don't see like, HP or something like that being like, oh, we're going to run ad space on our free internet. Like, I don't think it would happen. But I think it would be a unique and just different experience, and I would be okay with Xbox going free, and if they up the price of their console, then I think that would be fine, right? Because essentially you have free internet, and Xbox is good about like playing like older games, like let's say Xbox One games, like for free. They're literally upgrading everybody's quality of game. So that way it's running 60 FPS, 4K, like just crazily well. And so I think that Microsoft would do a good job.
Well, and
Microsoft's history, they've always been for the gamer. So I would hope they would still keep that position. But I'm just thinking about what everyone else does when all of a sudden they move something for free. Like, it's always more ads, or you have to do this special certain thing, or you can spend $3 a month to remove the ads now because that covers the cost of the money that they're making off you for the ads.
Yeah, but
if you think about it that way, I would rather just pay for my Xbox service and just have it, all those things free, and I just enjoy my service.
I just don't think that they would go that route, though. Like I said, because PlayStation, did you see tons of ads in PlayStation 3? No, I didn't see any ads.
Tons of ads in anything when PlayStation 3 was a thing?
Did you see...
You also didn't get to use it for 3 months straight because it got taken down. The whole reason PlayStation Network costs money now is because people got so sick and tired of it constantly going down. Like, what was that Lizard Squad that would constantly take down PlayStation Network over and over again? People just got tired of it, and like that was kind of one of the big reasons that Xbox 360 like boomed like it did, was because PlayStation Network was so bad. And once they started charging people for it, like I haven't never messed with PlayStation, and it's like the PlayStation 3 early years, but I guess it's way better than it was.
About happening because now it's free. Now there's less money supporting it. Now is Microsoft going to lose money supporting it the same way they did before? No, there has to be some kind of repercussion.
Well, to be fair to Sony, has always had how would you say, they've always had hacker problems. Like when PS4 was a thing, they had everyone like hack their credit card information or something like crazy like that.
Well, Sony's always been selfish. and
Yeah.
Sony invested
So
the money.
when it's compared to Sony, I start to think about it and I'm like, I don't think that it's gonna. When I think of Microsoft and how well Microsoft runs as a company, and like if you think about it, Microsoft's never been hacked in that sort of regard. They haven't
No.
been like. I don't know. And when I think too, when I think of Xbox Online Service, I still think internet PC. Does PC have tons of ads and they have free internet? No, I don't think so. So I don't believe they would.
Well, you're not getting free internet. You still have to pay your internet service provider.
And
Yeah.
I mean, you like
It'd be the
that,
same
that
way
kind of
though. That's what I'm saying. Like
But
it,
you never get ads on PC.
That-
I do not see ads on my gaming computer ever.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that would be like, oh, okay, yeah. You have free, technically, right, quote unquote, free internet, but it's like then Steam starts putting ads in the middle of your Tomb Raider or something.
If-
You know, they don't.
Free
around it
games,
by like having
there's-
ads on
if you're
the
playing
website
free game,
itself.
every once in a while you see an ad, but it's minimal.
Yeah, see,
But-
but like when it comes to a game, like then you think about it, that's not like, let's say for example, like if you downloaded that free game from Steam, that's actually that game itself. The providers are trying to get that money, right? That's them, like the game, like the studio. Sorry.
Well, that's why there's no ads on PC, because the way it works on there is when you buy a computer game, even if you buy it off of Steam, you're not paying Steam for the game. Steam probably gets a cut. I mean, of course they do because it's on their network, but the money goes to the game creator, and usually the game creators are the ones that run their own servers and everything too.
Yeah, well, like
Xbox,
Steam,
Microsoft servers run everything.
Steam is just like a means to get the games. They don't nothing like they don't run the servers or anything like that. So like it's just like extra money in their pockets in a sense. All they do is pay for their website, and then they go to these companies and ask them, "Hey, would you like to sell your product on our website, which has a lot of people, gets a lot of clicks?" Or say you sell it for $60, we get $3 of it, or some number like that. Whereas like Microsoft, they have to pay for these servers that go up. They have to like pay for these servers to like work with Xbox itself server, and then they also have to like. I mean, they get some money from these developers that are like, hey. We want to put our game on Xbox. Okay, well, we'll take whatever cut of sales. But
I also don't expect Microsoft to lose funding for a certain division, because Microsoft is questionably probably one of the biggest companies in the world. I mean, where do you go where you don't see a Windows server, a Windows computer, or any of that? That's all Microsoft. So I would assume that they wouldn't lose funding just for that reason. But, and as when you compare it to Sony, Sony does the PS5, they do TVs, headphones, peripherals, they do that kind of stuff. They don't have a computer network that's built out there. They don't have, I mean, they have a gaming network, but it's mostly run by the video game providers or creators. They don't run their own servers unless it's a Sony game. But so there's a big difference in how the company is. So I don't see funding issues, but I just see them making some smaller changes that are just mainstream that everyone else is doing.
I just would be worried. My worry would be that they just like right now, Microsoft is pretty proactive. I feel like with their services, like they really try. Like Xbox Live has gone down like one time because of people hacking it. The rest of the time, they've been like, it's constantly being adjusted. Like, we're always complaining about how the Xbox Series X or Xbox One's interface has been like changing like every 3 months recently, it feels like. And they're constantly evolving it. And I feel like if they ended up making it free, I would be concerned that these proactive changes would maybe they would still happen, but it would become way slower, and they would slowly fall to like
And that's what I'm
time.
talking about, because right now we're paying for it. When we pay for our Xbox Live subscription, it goes directly to Xbox Live. It goes to that department. They support it. When they make it free, now they have to say, okay, I need funding from over here, and I need a little bit of funding from over here. So it's going to take longer for money to get to that area. So I'm agreeing with you. I think stuff like that's going to end up slower because of reasons like that.
Yeah, I'm also like, Xbox Live isn't really like, if they had hiked up the price, if they had done it, if they had followed through with it, I wouldn't have. It would have been a little bit frustrating because it would have been a little more expensive. But I pay for the Ultimate, so it wouldn't have messed with me really any. But I think the whole reason for upping that was they're trying to kill off Xbox Live Gold and get everybody onto Game Pass Ultimate. Because that's $14.99 a month, and it's like the big thing for Microsoft right now, because like you can play it on your phone, you can play it on your PC, you can play it on your Xbox. Like, you can play all these games through the Game Pass Ultimate stuff, and I think they're trying to push that. And so they're like, maybe if we keep raising the price of Live, they'll be like, well, it's almost the same as Ultimate, and we get free games. Why don't we just go ahead and switch over? Which I mean, depending on how you feel, some people feel like that's a skeevy way to do things. I think that by slowly raising the price, it's a little better.
Games and a few more features, and these kind of remote features too. Like, sometimes people value that a lot, but for the people that like, oh, I only have time to play for an hour on the weekend, so I just need the cheapest option to get online working for me and my buddy to play COD. And there's a lot of people out there like that, and they're just not going to like the choice that they have to have Xbox Ultimate or whatever.
Yeah, and I can understand that that viewpoint as well. I think at the end of the day, overall looking at like what happened. They announced it, and then people got upset, and they instantly like, that's never happening with Sony. Sony would never. They would be like, well, we're still raising the price. Like, so a lot of people were kind of crapping on Microsoft for even wanting to raise the price, but like, not very many companies will go out, raise their price, and then literally within 24 hours say, hey, we messed up, we're sorry, we're not going to do the change, and we're also to be even more proactive on the situation, to even like reiterate the fact that we're apologizing for what happened. We are also going to make, I think that the games that would include like Fortnite, I think would now be free to play online. I think Warzone, because I believe Warzone is free, would also be free to play. Like, you're getting some really solid titles for free, and because they kind of did a little bit of a mess up, and they're like, we're sorry, we're going to do this instead. Like, and I give them props for admitting that.
I always say Xbox and Microsoft, their whole gaming division, I've really liked that as a company, because like I said, they've always been for listening to what the consumers want, and they've always been for getting them the best performance for dollar. They've never said, hey, I can profit more if I do it this way. They've always been, no, let's do what the community wants. Because if you're really giving the community that much respect and attention, that's how you're going to make the most money. And if you want to think about it in reality, and that's one thing they've always been really good at, is really paying attention to the community and doing everything for the best of either gaming performance or what the community can actually do.
Yeah. Yep.
Whereas PlayStation, they're like, well, this is how much the service costs, and well, if you don't like it, then we don't care. We're not going to ask your opinion or anything like that. So,
And this is why
I mean,
we
if-
like Xbox.
Yeah. If you really look at Microsoft as a whole, like that's basically been their the entire existence of the company. Like they listen to people's criticisms of Windows 99 and Windows Vista and all those Windows XP. Like they always listen to like what consumers are saying, and they upgrade things every single time. They're constantly listening to people, and you cannot say that about a lot of big companies like that. A lot of them, as they get bigger, slowly but surely, they end up voice of the consumer ends up getting quieter and quieter and quieter until like you can't even hear it anymore. Like with Sony,
Yeah.
I don't think they listen to any of their consumers at this point.
You know, and as for Bing, though, please stop. You know, Bing is not still a good.
speaking of browsers, I recently found something out about Chrome. Apparently, Chrome has something in it where if user, I don't know if it's like this on Windows, I don't think so, but if you're a Mac user and you're using Chrome, apparently it really hurts the performance of your computer as a whole, just having the application downloaded.
That's fantastic.
I don't know if that's a real thing or not, but
I use Safari, so I don't know.
I have an old Mac, so I have no clue. It might be a puff piece by Apple. You know, them being sneaky and like,
it doesn't matter how old your Mac is, because Chrome is.
Yeah, I know. I'm just making the joke that I got an old Mac. Okay,
But if
but
you have, it could be hurting your performance right now.
yeah, I can't even update it, so it's fantastic.
You should probably just uninstall it altogether.
Yeah. So, but I'm not talking about Chrome. I can't update my Mac. But regardless, anyway, this is off topic.
Yeah, I just figured I'd add that little tidbit there.
With that said, anyway, we're gonna cut break. We're on time today. Like, it's fantastic. With our topics, and we're getting some good topics, and I really like this episode. So if I were you guys, I would like and subscribe and hit that notification bell and listen to this quick word from our sponsor. Enjoy. I often find myself wondering, what's next? What lies ahead? Where do I go? How far will I go? We often think about tomorrow, but what's the point? What's the point of not looking at what we have in front of us? Why not look to the present and be grateful? Why do you run from today? What difference does it make if everything you have today can be gone tomorrow? So I urge you, live for today. Search EBXYA on Amazon today to get all of your XLR cable needs. Link in the description. And we're back from our word from our sponsors.
So, guys,
yeah,
drive-thrus. Come on. So,
Justin has a history with them. What about him?
yes, I do. Cut back to season 1, right? Like, if you want to listen to my story of drive-through experience, go to season 1. Listen to a few episodes.
I want you guys to put the movie title as your comment when you leave a comment. But there's a certain phrase, they always fuck you in the drive-through. Tell me where that's from. And this is where this conversation is going.
I don't
so
know.
go ahead, Justin, recap. What's your experience?
Well, I mean, recapping, I went through the wrong way in a drive-through Taco Bell. Not trying to go through the drive-thru. I do want to make that clear. I was trying to go around Taco Bell, and I went in the exit thinking that I could just go around. I don't know. I didn't read. And so I went, and then I was staring at a car. Me and the car were staring at each other head on. I was staring at the individual sitting in their car. It was a lady, and we're just like, okay. And then she starts recording me, and I'm like, well, this is awkward. And she wouldn't stop recording me as I was backing up to get out of the drive-through. And I looked behind me because it was near high school, and with my body, I do a full body turn, check the mirrors, and as I did the full body turn, I accidentally also pulled the steering wheel as I turned my body, and at the same time stretched my leg out in a weird way that hit the gas. So I reversed right into a exit sign of a Taco Bell, and it's crooked. And I believe we have it on our Instagram. You can see the crooked Taco Bell sign. We went to Taco Bell one time and we were like, hey, look, it's the sign. And it's still slightly crooked. And then I hit it and I left. I didn't even.
Or are you saying you
funny story from drive-thrus.
What happened,
who pulled
Austin?
in the wrong way? Who pulled in the wrong way? Was it you or the lady?
No, it was
Just-
me.
Oh, you. Okay.
Yeah, I went in the exit. I entered in the exit and we're facing the. And she recorded the whole thing, and I'm surprised I'd never seen it anywhere. Like it was embarrassing.
You didn't watch that episode of America's Funniest Home Videos?
Oh, why? What happened?
I'm saying that's like something that would be on the America's Funniest Home Videos. Like,
Yeah, I think it would be. Like, it was either that or you'd see it in some sort of meme somewhere in social media. Like, I was like so afraid that was what was gonna happen. I was like, oh gosh. And yeah, it was very funny. My car took most of the damage, so I know that I drove away, but know that my spoiler was in my back seat, and the sign was A-OK, not a crack, just slightly crooked, like I said. And the manager came out, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, I'm just stupid. I told her, and I drove off. Like it was.
stupid drives away.
Yeah, it was rough. I still have
Peeling
that
out.
car, so and it was fixed shortly after. But yeah, it was an embarrassing moment. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Proud and embarrassed about it at the same time.
Does anyone else have a funny drive-through story? I don't think I do.
I
Oh, but
roughly have one. Very quickly. I'm gonna one more, right? I went through drive-through. I was at Wendy's. It was me and Tyler used to go to Wendy's all the time. But this
Really?
time Tyler wasn't there. I grabbed Wendy's through drive-through, drove. And like the lids, like if you get them wet on the brim around your cup. I didn't know for some reason at the time they made real cheap cups. So anyway, the brim got wet. And I drove up to a red light, and there's these two chicks that were like, they were like looking at me, right? And I was like looking at them back, and like, they're giving me a side smile, and I smiled
You're
back.
blowing besitos.
Yeah, blowing them a little, just, And I pick up my cup, like looking at her still, like after the smile. And I, cool guy style, grab from the top of the cup, and I go to drink my drink, and I go, lips, puckered and ready to grab the the drink, and my cup folds in half, and half the drink spills on my lap, and all the girls see, and they start laughing at me in the car next to me. That was one of my smoothest moments ever. Trying to pick up a chick next to me, like it was embarrassing. And it looked like I pissed myself. Like it was just absolutely just all wet in my lap and in my like chair. And I was so my face got super red, and I just looked straight, and you're hearing them laughing. That's how loud they're laughing in their car with my window closed, their window closed, and I can hear them laughing. It was rough. It was rough.
That's the moment where you're just truly like, ah, fuck.
Yeah. And I think that's the first time me telling this story on the podcast, so you guys are welcome.
You should have rolled down the window, Justin. You should have rolled down the window and like motioned for them to roll theirs down and been like, "Hey, do you have a towel? I need some help over here."
Yeah.
That would have been the perfect way just to like.
It would have been like,
I'm a
funnier.
little wet.
I'm a little wet over here. I don't know if you guys saw. I think you probably did. You guys have been giggling, but like, I need
Yeah.
some help.
And
over
get
here.
this too, I drove where I was headed, work. So it was a rough day.
Man, Justin, why are you all wet? Well,
But
Yeah.
you see,
Let's just say my crotch smelled like lemon lime. So and yes, my underwear was stained through the so
hey, you know,
what can
well,
I say?
your crotch smelling like lemon lime isn't the worst thing it can smell like. So I mean,
True,
I
right?
guess that's a positive.
I think that it could have went a little bit worse if I got it in a certain area and it would have started burning. Like, can you imagine? Like, I think that would have made it worse. But it was kind of bad. It's sticky pants. I mean, what can he do? It's awkward.
well, Austin or Junior, do either of you have a story?
I haven't done anything too crazy at any drive-throughs. There's been a couple times with my new vehicle because Camaros have super skinny side windows, and so the first time I went through a drive-through with my new car, it was Starbucks, and I was up at Colin's house up in Chicago, Munster area, or wherever, and the Starbucks lady had to like lean like all the way out the window to get it because it was like we're low and we're also like I was of course scared because it was new, so I was a little bit further away and it was lower and all this stuff and it's super skinny, so she was like leaning halfway out and I was like just waiting for her to fall all the way out and just bust her face. Waiting for it. Other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. I haven't really done anything too crazy. I've seen some crazy things happen. I saw somebody one time behind me. They were ordering their food, and then all of a sudden, the car behind them just like gassed it and just plowed right through them into the other stall. Like it was one of those McDonald's, the ones where it has the two drive-throughs, and then like
where
you
they're, like merging together.
Yeah, I guess it was like it looked like it was a younger girl, probably a teenager. She just like she was behind the lady, and I don't know, maybe she just got sick and tired of waiting, or maybe she accidentally hit the gas, but she just destroyed the back end of the car in front of her, and then drove all the way through that car, and hit the cars in the other lane.
Oh my gosh.
So it was so. I was like, what just happened? Like, I just hear all this noise behind me. I look back and I'm like, oh, it's like a car wreck happened in a McDonald's drive-thru. Doesn't even happen.
It's a 5-car pileup in the McDonald's drive-through, so like the air traffic controllers. Like,
There's a 5-car pileup at the local McDonald's.
like, bruh, I do have like another weird story. This one's weird because you mentioned Colin, and Colin could attest to this. You could ask him when you go to see him sometime soon. But I was at a Wendy's again. This is rough because my life seems like it's at Wendy's. Wendy's drive-through out in Munster area, whatever. It was late. I'm going with Colin. We're like, we're gonna grab some, some nuggies. Like it was spicy nuggies. Like I'm like, you know what, dude? It's super late. Like we had late night munchies. We're like, let's go. We were hanging out that night. So we get in my car. We drive to the drive-through. I'm sitting there. A kid knocks on my window, like a teenager. He seemed like like this weird, like annoying pretty boy. Just like he'd do things to just be funny, like the most random stuff. And it was this boy, and then there was these 2 girls, and it was just him, or I think it was like maybe 3 girls. And anyway, the girl comes up to my window, knocks on it, and she's like, "Hey," she's like, "Can we get in your car so that way we can order?" I was like, excuse me? And she's like, yeah, can we get in your car? And I I didn't lower my window all the way down because people are weird and I don't trust. So I was like, right, like, and she's talking through this little hole, right, and she's like, can we sit in your car? Like, I want to order and not be awkward or something. And I was like, and I looked at her, I was like, no. I was like, why would I do that? Like, I don't know you.
That's on the front of the building. You can open that bitch and go in there and order.
Yeah, well, it was only the drive-through was open, and it was super late at night. So I'm like, why am I gonna allow you to sit in my car? Like, you could say some weird stuff, or like you could try and rob me. Like, I don't know who the hell you are. I don't care if you're a freaking chick or not. And I'm like, I'm not gonna sit there in the drive-through so you can order. And then anyway, and then I was thinking too, because they're like, maybe they just turned 18. And I'm like, who taught you to go in a random stranger's car? Like, you could get in this car and like I could take off and you guys will never know where we're going. Like, you'd be forced to like roll out. Like, why are you even doing this? Anyway, so I say no. She's like, ah. And I was like, and I rolled up my window, and she kept staring at like a hole like through my head. You know, I'm just like, I'm told Colin, I'm like, I'm gonna open my door and just boom, like real quick, quick door open, and just push it back, But anyway, I was like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna ignore him, and I keep driving. We put in our order, right? Double quarter pounder, Dave's double, ketchup only. Anyways, we drive. And as we drive further up, the douchebag in the back, and yeah, I'm going to call the dude the douchebag, he starts recording on his phone, and he takes his foot and he presses it onto my what do you call bumper, my back bumper. He literally starts pressing kind of hard, and I kid you not, I was going to put my car in reverse and just, give him a little tap. Like, just real quick little tap.
I would have.
I was so tempted to, but right, we talked about being the bigger person. So I was like, all right, I'm like, this guy's lucky if there's a dent there. I'm gonna get out this car and I'm gonna run him over. Like, I'm just like, this guy. I was like, they're really testing my patience. If he would have kicked my car, I would have literally got out the car and maybe fought him. I'm not gonna lie. But
if he's putting his foot on my damn bumper, I would have. I don't know.
Oh, I would have murdered
too.
If your foot was on my bumper, front bumper, I would have, gave you a little bump forward. Back bumper, I would have gave you a little bump backward. Like, get the fuck off my car, bro.
Yeah. And I had seen it all unfold, and yeah. So if you want to ask Colin the story,
but I'm gonna make him fall on his ass.
Yeah. I was tempted. I was tempted. So I've had surprisingly weird stories in a drive-through. I've dropped cups. I had someone hand me that, but
I mean, it could have been as simple as like maybe they just wanted to sit in your car and order because you're not allowed to walk through a drive-through. Could have been that simple, but it also could have been just as well of a chance of something bad.
Yeah, but they ordered anyway, like, it's so weird. I say you gotta be safe, and you can't really trust people.
No, I completely agree. Like, they would not be in my car.
Why were they at McDonald's or the drive-thru without a car anyways?
They're young, you're young, you don't have a car, you gotta
really
walk
dumb.
everywhere. I don't know, dude. Like, it was really stupid. And like I said, I don't know what their parents taught them, but like, I would not go up to a stranger, hey, unless it was emergency, maybe I might, right? But I wouldn't be like, hey, can I sit in your car? Like, I don't know you.
Like,
you could be some murder. Like, you could like shoot me, try and like rape me or something crazy.
You taught them a valuable lesson. That's what you did. One day, like in 10 years, they're going to be like, gosh, and they're married or whatever. They're going to be like, that time when we asked that one guy to get in his car and he wouldn't let us, he taught us a valuable lesson. Don't get into strangers' cars.
Like, I don't know about that because it seems like they're kind of messing with Justin afterwards, and Justin couldn't do anything.
Yeah,
know?
but then no retro. Hindsight is 2020, and they'll like look at it and be like, "Wow, we were little shits about this." Like, they'll also look back and be embarrassed.
That earlier this week, actually, not with like drive-through people wanting to get in my car, but a guy comes up to my window and he says, "Hey, I got this can of kerosene. Do you have like a rubber band or something I could seal it with?" So
Okay,
I'm
that's
just like, "Well, I got some zip ties, I'm grabbing my work can." So he has this like I don't know, just a piece of plastic that he has over the cup of the opening of the can. So I put two zip ties together where if you pull each end out, it'll tighten the circle in the middle and seal his can.
Yeah.
Like, here, bro, just go ahead and grab that. And then he's like, "Oh, can you put it on my can for me?" I was like, "No, dude, you're gonna put this on yourself. I'm not touching that can." This is like a homeless looking guy, like walking down the street, right? Like, I'm like, what's the chance of it's just a nice guy that needs some help? So I got out and grabbed some zip ties. I put them together for him. Handed it to him. He's like, "Oh, dude, I can't. I mean, I got my gloves on, my hands are cold. I can't do that. Can you put it on for him?" And I'm like, "No, bro, you're gonna do it yourself." Like at that point, I had to put my foot down because if I touch that or if I bend over that can and the fucking thing like explodes or some bullshit, like hell no.
No, but like, there's so much wrong with that story, though. Like, first off, you got the dude with the kerosene can, right? Like the freaking weirdo, and then you got Tyler. Like, I'm sorry, weirdo comes up to me like with a kerosene can. Like, I ain't giving him zip ties. Like, like.
Okay, maybe he just truly wants to seal the top of this can so his kerosene doesn't evaporate. So I'm thinking, like, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but I am not getting closer than 10 feet away from you, and I am not touching your can. Fuck that. I have no idea what's going to happen
Like
with that
guy
can.
could be like trying to like burn a couple of people, like or something. Like he needs the zip ties.
So like I gave him the zip tie and he took his gloves off, he bent over, he put it on his can, he pulled it tight, and I'm like, "Okay, cool, enjoy the rest of your day."
What did he do? Like, did you watch him afterward?
He just started walking away. He picked up his can and started walking away.
Just walked into the sunset, like just
walking down the side of the road. And
here, like a few minutes later, like that McDonald's or wherever you went through, like is on fire from like a kerosene.
Well, there wasn't a McDonald's and a Speedway nearby.
Oh my gosh, bro!
I never heard about any stories.
That is weird.
For a little while after that, and I didn't see any burnt down buildings. But I was just weirded out that you wanted me to not only give you a zip tie, like that's not the weird part. Like I understood he wanted to put a cover over the can so it didn't evaporate. That part made sense to me. But why do I specifically have to bend over this can and do it for you? Why are you?
He didn't want no fingerprints, bro. If he was wearing gloves, I mean, all this is like this guy's super shady.
Big winter, he had a jumpsuit on and big winter gloves. Like he was keeping himself warm. The guy looked like he was homeless. On top of that,
maybe he was like in a.
Maybe he was going to
heat blaze,
Maybe he was a squatter and he had a propane heater or something or a kerosene heater in a house.
That's true. I'm true.
In my head, I'm like, you know what? This could be something legit, but I'm still not touching this can.
But the zip tie part, like that's hilarious. Like I would not, out of all the things to give the guy, like he's like, I just picture him right after. He's like, "Oh, zip ties, even better." Like and then he just like runs over. Like you just cut to him like walking up to his like car, and he's like, "All right, he rips the duct tape off like this dude in the back of his truck, and then like he's like, "All right, boy," and then like he puts freaking the zip ties on him, and it's like even worse. Like he can't even break out of the zip. Oh my gosh, my brain.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm trying to be nice. I want to help this guy out because it looks like he actually needs help. He was like genuinely asking, but I'm like, yo, this world's crazy. I got to keep my distance right here.
Yeah, let's assume he was a swell guy. But I would have played stupid. I would have been like, "Nah, bro, I don't have anything." I think if you like, it's like when people like are always asking for money, right? Like I'm okay with like giving it, right? But sometimes I don't like to, especially while it's through my or like they're selling flowers on the side of the road. I'm like, it just nothing shadier than you on the side of the road trying to knock on my window while I'm at a red light. Like, no, thanks. No, sorry. I mean, I'm all for helping people, but not like that. Like, it's just too creepy to me. I'm like, your hand's gonna go through a window. I'm like choking, and then I seen the horror films, okay? But my
Yeah.
gosh, Tyler,
Yeah,
that is a
that's
weird story.
it was only cracking the window, like he just enough to hear him, and like he just said, "Hey, do you have anything I can seal this can with? A rubber band or something?" And I'm just like, "I got some zip ties."
Even better. Like again, I keep picturing that in my head. Like his
Oh, dude,
head
it was
tilts
totally
the.
weird. Yeah, I was like, "What do I? This is fucking weird."
Then he puts his mask back on too. He probably had a mask too, right? Or no?
He was wearing a mask.
Oh,
It was, I mean, it was like old
there's
and
all
dirty, but he
sorts of
wasn't wearing
shady.
a mask. I mean, it looked like a homeless guy. I mean, he was this big, fluffy, crappy jacket. It was kind of dirty. His face really wasn't shaved. I mean, the guy looked like he genuinely needed some help. It didn't look like the scammers that go to Chicago and then you watch them and they, after they're done filling their cup of money, they get in their Cadillac that's 2 blocks down the road. It wasn't nothing like that.
That's crazy, bro.
Because those guys typically look kind of clean and they wear a crappy jacket. And like you can tell, like, nah, dude, unless you just got out on the street, no.
That's some wacky stuff, bro. I mean, I other than that, like I want to think of more, but I have no other experiences like that. And I wish, I don't know. I feel like it'd be that Junior would have had a super funny one or something, but nope.
No, I'm always super cautious in the drive-thru. I'm sure Austin can attest to this, but just like trying not to curb your wheels or anything.
Oh God, yeah. No, I'm super careful. I take a wide arc. Yeah, I'm always scared. I definitely don't roll my windows down for people that are walking by the drive-thru because they're weird.
I think if anyone's got any crazy drive-through stories, I do want to hear them down below, right in the comments. Just put them there, and we want to comment back. And if you guys actually are on social media, you could comment directly on the post on our Twitter or Instagram of the new episode. And comment there. But we do read our comments, so please comment down. I want to know some new stories. I kind of want to start a new thing that when we start having you guys comment, I'm thinking we could talk about and read through the different stories. So if you guys have a wacky story about a drive-through, we'll even shout you out and everything, and we'll talk about the just insane story. So leave it in the comment section over on our YouTube if you're listening over on YouTube. And if you're listening on SoundCloud, we look at those too. You can comment. So we will love to hear your guys' stories. If not, like messages on Twitter or Instagram. And I would love to hear those stories. Again, we will shout you guys out and we will read over those stories and so everyone else could hear it on the third little quarter of our podcast. But with that said, I think we're at time for right now, and we're on time. So it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all for listening. Again, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell if you're over on YouTube. And if you're over on our other platforms, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, there is notification sections where you can turn your notifications on. And please do, for when we upload, because we're back to regular schedule. Do know this. I'm going to put this note out there. May, I believe, 15th or around that time is going to be the end of our season until season 3, which will start back up in, I believe, August. September. We start in September for our new season. So be prepared and make sure you're all caught up because the season's ending is coming pretty soon. And again, leave those comments. We do want to hear from you. But with that said, we love you. Bye.